So now we are talking about rebuilding the whole country, relaunching the tourism industry. We always talked about how important tourism industry is going to be to rebuild Sri Lanka, especially after the COVID and then the economic crisis that is happening locally. Probably the way the world is going, probably there will be a global recession. So we talked about importance of rebuilding. So the younger generation with the golf race protest, or we call it Aragalaya, talks about a system change. So system changes should not just happen in the political layer, it needs to happen in all layers of the industry and society. So one of the things that I'm going to talk about is the whole idea of equality. I do live in a South Asian country when we have lots of heritage, we have a lot of culture, we have also lots of traditions. We should respect these traditions. Also, some of these traditions are not up to date. So we can't rebuild a country with that system in mind. So we need a new system. So the reason that I'm going to talk about equality is that I believe equality is a human right and an economical right. Because right now, because of the economical downfall, thousands of millions of families, especially lower income families, are feeling the brunt of it. And then who are the feeling the most brunt is the moms, while with kids, who works in a garment factory or a cleaning lay person. They are the ones who are feeling the most brunt. So tourism industry is the way forward, one of the best industries for a quick economical recovery. So how are we going to use the word equality? Yes, there's a lot of social stigma, but let's see equality in a very economical way. So equality is not just about gay rights and lesbian rights. It's about equality, equal rights for everybody. So let's talk about female empowerment and job workforce. In Sri Lanka, I think there is lots of female workforce, but they're not in a very quality-based system. So we have lots of people who are in the tea industry, lots of females who are working in the garment industry, but we have less managers. We have less high pay female managers, less high pay CEOs. We have a few now, which is really good. So how we could engage that? So a good example is that we have an industry, tourism industry, when it's really in its prime, we tend to bring around 4 billion USD into the country. And then we always talks about how many tourists are coming, but we never talked about is our workforce is able, or how much human resource that is. Because end of the day, it's supply and demand, right? So if we have not enough workforce, this is not enough human capacity to have 25 million tourists, there's no point of asking for 5 million tourists. So the engagement in tourism industry with female workforce is very low. It has to do with certain social stigmas, I would say, because lots of traditional parents would not like to send their daughter to work in a hotel. It's long hours and things like that. But these things needs to change. Change will take gradually, but these things will change. My argument is that, so we have a $4 billion industry, and if we could incorporate 50% of female workforce in Sri Lanka is female, roughly, and then you have roughly around 10 to 11% of tourism workforce to be female. So if you could increase double that to 40%, so our human capacity becomes much bigger. So we could easily create a 6 billion industry out of tourism. So that's the reason. And then you take so many people out of poverty, so many people into the middle class, and then so many people have out of hunger. And then the whole country, one of the most biggest problems is not having enough USDs or the foreign income. That is solved. And the same with the LGBT and the marginalized communities. It can be LGBT community, it can be a community with race. I think positively the whole hierarchy of caste system is going down, which is really good. But it's still people who are living in the line villages, we are not utilizing them. So we need to utilize them. I think if you are a tourism organization, or if you are a tourism manager, if you are somebody who loves, you need to rethink about these strategies. Because if you wanted to create a prosperous Sri Lanka for your children, you need to think about equality and improving our human resource skills. That's the only way. Progress will take time, but it'll take time, but it takes slow, and it's not going to happen overnight, but it'll take time. But you as individuals, we have to make sure when we make decisions, when we do recruitment, we have to do that. Because again, LGBT community in a population, that will be around 5 to 10%. This is a very average figure that I'm saying, but I believe it's around 10 to 5 to 10 percentage. So again, we because of their sexual orientation, we marginalize them. We put them on industries that is hidden, or we are not letting them to prosper as it is. Again, this is 2022. Look, open your eyes and see what's happening in the world. So we have to move towards where the world is. So bottom line, when we do recruitment, when you do many decision makings, you have to go out from this patriotic system. We need to think twice. We need to get more female participation in the tourism industry. As a good example is our driver industry or guiding industry is very, very male dominant. Largely it is really nice, but there is a certain amount of harassment is being done. If you are a single female traveler, if you are a traveler who is from LGBT community, we have these lots of frictions because of that. So if you look at car ownership, new car ownership is lots of girls are getting new cars, but we are not letting them to do the airport pickups or hotel pickups. There is innovative, and if you are an entrepreneur, there's so much innovation, so much innovative products that we can build, having a female drivers for solo female travelers. You know, if you think out of the box, you as an entrepreneur, you can win, and we as a country, we can win. Same with there's so much things. So it's a very polite request, more than a blog or a educational piece, is we need to think. We need to own our decisions. Think about it. Think about your sister. Think about your mom. Think about the colleagues that you know. Equality is an economical right. Economical right means equality is a human right. So it won't change in a day, but you can make the seeds of the change. Thank you very much.